would you look at that? You found your way back to the end is...
Sigh.
That's right. I'm Nate.
And I'm Todd. I like that one.
Yeah, there we go. We're back. Just like that.
I shouldn't compliment you on those because mine are so elementary that I don't like having this competition for intros, but you tend to have better ones than I do, and it hurts me. I'm hurt, but I'm wounded by your intros.
I'm going to sleep good tonight now.
Yeah, but for those of you that have never heard this before, welcome to the pod.
Yeah, exactly. Todd pointed at something, and I don't have my chat.
No, I was pointing at you because it's your turn to just keep talking.
So we are the End is Sigh. You caught us on our topic episode. So normally in the podcast, we go over movies, and then from that movie, we take topics, and we give you a quick rundown on those topics. We're not experts. We're your Google-ish experts.
Yeah. We read the articles so you don't have to.
That's what Todd wants me to say, but not saying
that's just what I'm saying. Well, because I actually read them. Nate skims the articles so you don't have to. I read the articles so you don't have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skim the articles?
But I think Nate, he made a comment in the last episode that makes me think he put his work in on this topic. But without spoiling it, I guess, it's in the title, so you fucking already know. But what's your topic?
My topic is historic buildings. And yours?
Mine is robots. And where did we get these topics from?
We got it from the movie. I guess I'll include asterisk. Batteries not included.
Hell yeah. Yep, that was last week. So if you know that movie or want to learn about batteries not included, listen to that one.
Did we ever talk why it was an asterisk?
I think that's just because it's always on the boxes. Every box has the asterisk because it'll say like whether they are or not included. Like it's just like a part of packaging. So
all right,
we didn't talk about that in the actual episode. We did talk about that just now. So good. That's part of it. You just learned something new, and that was from Todd's article, and it's called his brain. It's not a big article. You just
like, guys, I got a nice article here.
It's peer researched, all right.
Like when I think someone's referring to their article, it's not their brain.
Well, that's Mom, turn off the pod. That's also peer researched.
He's like, laughing at his own jokes.
You're the crack of the bat, and that ball is just it's out the stadium, baby. I Babe Ruth that one out of here. Welcome, listeners. Welcome to another edition of the podcast called The End is Sigh, because everything's a sigh. We just make meaning out of the meantime. It's movies and shows and everything in between, and that's what we're here to talk about. Get your mind off of shit, and you can, or we bring up real shit, and then it kind of drags you back in. But for a moment, you can do, mundane things and listen to us chatter in the background.
Yeah. I feel like this will bring us back into real shit in a sense, or you're just going to hear us go on a tangent of us bitching, because I'm sure Todd will agree on this. AMC theaters, they have decided to charge a premium for the better seats, like the middle seats. And
I saw this. Yeah.
Now I don't know the whole logistics of it, if it's everyone's getting charged for it, or if it's people that aren't part of their membership program. But either way, I don't think it should matter. I think you shouldn't charge extra for the seats regardless, because it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I did see this. It is blowing up everywhere as movie theater chains keep making the news for wrong reasons, by the way. But this is the newest one, and I get what they're doing, because it's like a concert, right? You pay for the better spots. But again, it can't work like a concert because front row fucking sucks at a theater. It's great at a concert. Depending on how young you are, I guess. I don't really like front row at a concert. I more like to stand in the back where it's spacious and I can lean against a wall. But that's beside the point. Yeah, so they're getting flamed. I saw a recent video, and I actually sent it to you before we started recording. I don't know if you even got that yet, but
I did.
It's them saying... Oh, okay. Yeah, it was, I don't even know what show it was, but some dude was talking about, like, you know what? the issue is it's not the seating placement, because for the most part, if it's above the aisle or even towards the top of the, the where like it splits when you walk in, it's going to be a fine seat. Even I like an aisle seat, dude, and that's off to the left or right, just so I don't have anybody sitting next to me to fucking ruin it. And that brings me to what they were saying. It's not the seats, it's the fucking people that are ruining it. It's the talking, it's the phones, it's the general, I don't give a shit, I just paid out the ass to go here, and I'm just going to be on my phone and not care. And that is what's ruining it, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's that. And then it's also social media of what's a trend that's going on where people decide, oh, let's lean into this. Where when the Minecraft movie came out, I think this was actually during our break period.
It was.
Where people were like freaking out because of a chicken jockey or whatever it was. And the theaters were going insane that it became such a trend that even theaters started incorporating it as part of a show. Like, oh, here's the chicken jockey showing where we're going to allow you to throw the popcorn and get crazy. And I get it from a marketing standpoint to include that. But at the same time, it just, you go to a theater and that's what happens. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah, they're resorting to gimmicks. But the thing is, it's like there's gimmicks where, like a Rocky Horror Picture Show, people sing along and get in, dress up and stuff. That is, you're going for like this event. And they've done it with like the Eras Tour and different concerts, right? They'll do that now. But this specifically, like when they start bringing in the social media trend to like interact by throwing popcorn, hey, that's just more work for your employees. And if somebody doesn't know that's the showing, good fucking luck. But what you're doing is you're encouraging audience participation in a place that is historically, for good reason, been where you sit down, shut the fuck up, and ingest something with your eyes and ears. And you can't do that if people are talking. And if it's people that, I mean, this day and age, no one wants to do the parent thing. And I don't mean like they don't want to have kids. That's one of them. But the people that have the kids don't want to be the parents. They don't want to say like, oh, well, I had the kids, so I have to stay home and we rent movies now, or I don't get to go to these. They go, no, I'm going anywhere. And they bring their kids. So the kids are running around. The kids are kicking seats. They're talking. They're making jokes. They're getting up left and right, walking in front of you. They're bringing in like entire bags of like Lay's potato chips and like crinkling through the bags. And they don't give a shit. Like, it's their couch. Parents are treating it like their couch. Teenagers are treating it like their couch. Even old people have lost the plot on this. I've had it where we've had old people that talk. They just, oh, Stacy, and what the hell? Oh my gosh, Jason, Barbara, the whole fucking time, and you're like, dude, you are too old for this shit. Shut the fuck up. Like, this is a visual audio medium. So if you're making things bright or interrupting or talking, like, obviously that's going to ruin what I paid to see. Like, it's supposed to be an experience, and they are fucking drowning it. And yeah, this is a rant, not even based off the seat choice, but it's just AMC and Cinemark and Regal and all those chains in general. They refuse to enforce shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's such a simple thing that they could do, but it seems like they're afraid that they're going to lose that business. But that's okay, because I feel like you lose that business, and then other people are like, oh, I can actually go to a theater and enjoy it without being interrupted. And then also going back on your other point of there's not really bad seats, obviously, except for the front row. But if that's the case, why aren't they going to charge cheaper than at that point for the front row?
That's a good
call. And they won't, or they'll just, if they ever decide to do that, of like, well, we're going to actually start charging cheaper, it's because they raise the prices of everything else to where the front row is just that base price that it already was.
Yeah, but now it's the regular price. Do you know how are they pricing these seats out? Is it first come, first serve? Is it like, because it's part of their A-list, right? Which I used to be part of the A-list back in California. But I haven't been on that in a long time. But is it because you get to just first dibs on these seats? You can only get those seats if you're in the A-list? Is that what it is? Like, if they...
I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, because I mean, let's say there's a sold-out show, which is, rare these days, but let's say there is one, and those seats in the middle are, so it's not technically sold out, aren't yet taken because not enough A-list members grabbed them. Do they sell those to the general public? Or do they just let them sit empty?
But at the same time, what happens then if it's not a sold-out show? Someone goes in and they decide, oh, I'm going to sit in these seats because no one bought them.
Yep.
Are they going to enforce that? If they can enforce that, then why can't they enforce people not talking?
Yep. Oh, it's a slippery slope there. Kind of like the butter that will go in one hole and right out the other immediately.
Yes.
We've talked about that in the earlier episodes. Who has the best popcorn, Nate? Just speaking on popcorn tangent.
I enjoy Cinemark quite a bit.
I do too. And I used to make Cinemark's like flavor profile at home based on like, Google and Flavicol, which is a box of bright orange salt, whatever the fuck was in there. I don't know.
I just see Todd just like his own little mad scientist setup and everything, where he's got like base popcorn and everything of like, all right, this is your microwavable popcorn. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get our Cinemark. He went into Cinemark with a little notepad and everything before each movie, writing down, okay, what do they do at this moment? Okay, scoops the butter out.
So it's just me sitting in the lobby watching them and not the movies. No, and I don't fuck with
just like,
home.
That fucking guy's back. He's just writing notes in his notepad and looking at us.
To be fair, he does buy a matinee ticket, so we don't want to kick him out, but he just watches us do it. No, I don't fuck with home popcorn anymore, like microwave popcorn. I don't fuck with it. I think one time I heard that the chemicals or whatever when you open it can cause cancer, and I was like, well, that's it for me. And I think I just lost an appetite for it. So I'll get movie theater popcorn, but I do like Cinemark. I like the Harkins chain over here. I mentioned them last week. They actually have some pretty decent popcorn that compares. I know any of the big chains that know what they're doing, they know they've got to focus on the popcorn because, again, all these theaters make their money off concessions. And if you don't like their shit, you don't go back. That's why certain like Carmike and shit that we had in town bombed, because they just fucking set that shit in a vat in their front, underneath the counter where people could just touch. It's just there. It's like those candy bins in like an old candy store where kids can put their hands in and grab stuff out. That's where the popcorn was. That's disgusting. And it was stale and gross, and there's no way they cleaned out those tubs.
No, that was the best, because it's just like the candy bins. You didn't have to pay for a candy. If you just wanted one piece, you go up, you grab a piece, and you take it.
I also want whatever disease they just passed me through that one kernel. Yeah, well, that's that week's news. Who knows? I mean, Alamo did the online ordering. AMC's doing the price seats. What is the next gimmick? It's just get people to enjoy their experience again, and they will come back. That's so fucking simple.
Yeah. There will be another gimmick at some point. Actually, there was, I guess, one gimmick. I don't know where these theaters were located. I think it was in another country, but it was almost like they had their own box, like at a venue, like a stadium and all that.
Oh, like when you go to like a concert venue and they've got like the side, like where Abraham Lincoln was shot.
Kind of like that, yeah, except for it was like back and above the seats and all that. And so it was your own personal box where it just had a glass and it was all enclosed. So you and whoever else wanted to be was in that box. So you just sat there and got to enjoy the movie in quiet and didn't have to worry about others around you.
I would pay a premium to do that here in the States. Wouldn't you?
Depending on the movie, and I guess it's hard to say, because depending how much it is.
Let's say you're getting a center box seat for like Blade Runner 2049 with that surround sound, and it's just you and Kat, and you guys can just go and enjoy that and see it without interruption and people being dipshits.
Okay. How much?
Per ticket. So I mean, shit, what are the tickets right now?
You're probably like selling it per 13, box, 14? Though, right?
Right. Well, maybe per seat, per box, maybe, because you can probably go by yourself, right? Maybe you get, I don't know. Could you share a box with a stranger?
See, that's the worry though. If it's per seat and then some stranger walks in, then that fucks the whole experience. I feel like it has to be per box.
Menage a trois. Yeah. Well, okay. So per box, I'm gonna say, honestly, $50 probably is what they would start that out, right? $49.99 a box.
If it's two seats, yeah.
Because 25 each ain't so bad, right? I mean, it's bad, but because tickets right now can be like 16 a pop, and that's just normal sitting with the peons shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for Blade Runner 2049. I don't know what people see in that movie.
Line sack of shit. That's one of our favorite movies. Spoiler for everybody out there. That thing is so good. That's not a recommendation. That's just an always recommendation.
I feel like that's definitely higher on Todd's list than it is my list. Like, it is still a great movie, but I don't put it as high as Todd.
Oh, those who know me know that should be a pretty solid one to watch. All right, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I like movies, and then I really like movies. And Blade Runner 2049 it's just, man, the sound. If you have the visuals and the sound, like, my God. Anyway, this is totally off topic now, but
yeah, it's off topic, but it's on topic. And he definitely fanboys over Jared Leto in that movie.
Don't you? That's the only mark on that movie. That's the only mark on it, all right? I don't want to talk about that part. He is, spoiler alert, a villain, so I guess that's better. But yeah, great acting in that movie, great visuals, great sound. Like, if you put headphones on and watch that, like, in a dark room, oh my God. I listen to the soundtrack. It's on my focus mode. Like, when I need to really get work done, I put that on. Okay. Tears in the Rain is a song that's a nod from the first movie. So good. Anyhow,
I feel like someone needs to snip it together of Todd just saying, oh, great audio, visuals, and music and all that. And it's just after him, he was just talking about Jared Leto. So he's like, yeah, I love the way Jared Leto looks. I love him in 30 Seconds to Mars.
I used to really like 30 Seconds to Mars. I mean, there's still decent songs. I just don't like, obviously, it's like trying to separate the art from the... Anywho, now we're really off base.
Sorry.
No, it's just, it is what it is. Yes, that's okay. Are we good anymore? Any other movie theater news that you know of?
No, I think that's my tangent and my depressing thing for movie theaters going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, we're big movie guys. So, Jesus. Of course, we're movie guys, but movie theater people. But anywho, speaking of the movies, Nate, we did the one last week, and these are the topics. Are you going to start us off for side quest number 1?
I mean, I could start us off for side quest number 1.
All right, let's get into what did you call it? Historic buildings. Historic
buildings, yeah, that's what. So it's very broad because there's a lot I can go over with just historic buildings.
No, so we text, like, after we've watched it, we're like, what are you going to do for the theme? And, like, we don't discuss these before, and he's like, historic buildings, and I went, whoa, okay, well, that is. I think I called you a fancy lad because I was like, what does that mean? I was like, wow, and then I was like, of course, mine's just like robots. So yeah,
as broad.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you've done with this.
So I guess when you think of historic buildings, what do you think?
I mean, I'm trying to picture like local ones, but I tend to think of, the ones with the big architecture, right? They're always like made of brick. They're tall. They're like Victorian home type style stuff. Like, I think of those like things that they're like row houses, and all of a sudden one's like held on. Everybody else is modernized and HOA'd the shit up, but that one's like sitting there, and it's like you can go in there and insurance companies running their shit out of it, right? Some have co-opted, or it's like an art display. It's like they kind of use it for small ventures, but they're always just kind of like, it's the opposite of an eyesore in the middle of a city, right? It just seems out of place, but it's because it's got that real masonry and shit attached to it.
So it's an eyesore to you. Okay.
I said it was the opposite. Don't you? You can't edit that one around there. I will handle the edits.
So you're not thinking of like the pyramids, the Mesa Verde, like National Park in Colorado? None of those old like actual buildings that have been around for far much longer.
But I would consider the pyramids as like a landmark, not like a historical
building. That's a building.
It's like a tomb at best.
So you just think it just like came out of nowhere? They didn't build it?
The aliens did it, duh.
Someone still built it.
Batteries not included guys built it. Which means it had to exist beforehand. Oh shit. Okay, now this is getting wild. No, I mean I don't know. I think of them as like standalone like structures like that people lived in or offices were in. I don't ever think of them as like the landmarks, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa or some shit like that. But if you're going that broad, now that makes more sense.
People lived in Mesa Verdes, like the old cliff dwellings or whatever in Colorado.
I focused on the goddamn pyramid claim you made here. Yes, the Mesa Verde. Those are technically historical buildings. I don't know. That's a weird line. I guess I would have to draw. I guess, but
honestly, that has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about. But it was something I didn't even think about when I was thinking about historical buildings either. Of like, oh yeah, that is an old building. They even had Stonehenge on there and a couple others. But it gets very interesting because I looked up, okay, how do you save no, but it's something that was built.
Okay, so
everything is kind of listed under this because I went through. I was like, okay, how would you go through and try to save a building? How would you try to make it historic? Yeah. And so, pretty much all this is from nps.gov, which is National Park Services. Mm-hmm. And so then, of course, then you get national parks. That's part of as historic property. So it's not buildings; it's just properties, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and they're super funded right now, so good for them.
Yeah. So fucking stupid. No. So yeah, how to list a property. So the National Register of Historic Places is the official list of nation's historic places worthy of preservation. Authorized by the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, the National Park Service's National Register of Historic Places is part of a national program to coordinate and support public-private efforts to identify, evaluate, and protect America's historic archaeological resources.
Okay, so we've been doing that for 60 years?
60 is what you're going to say?
60 years, right? 66 to 2026?
Yeah, it'll be 60. You did it. You did
Thank
math.
you. He just assumed I did math wrong.
Am I wrong, though?
No, you were wrong on this one, but not wrong in general. Yeah. It happened because they both have a 6 at the end. It made it real easy for me.
So yeah, I'm going to spiel off some stuff that doesn't really make sense, or a lot of it, it's going to be, hey, here's a general idea, but then you need to go further into it, of course. So the first thing you start off is by going to the State Historic Preservation Office, SHPO.
Is there one of those in each SHPO? Is there a SHPO in each state?
Yes. So pretty much, it was weird too, because I went to the State Historic Preservation because there's a hyperlink in this whole article. Went to it, and it had all the states. Went to Colorado, page not found. I was like, oh no. Ooh. But California, it found it. It found it in other states, but for some reason, Colorado was not pulling up.
Good grief. I'm going to send a strong email to our state senator.
Yeah. Now, if the property is on federal or tribal land, then the process starts with the Federal Preservation Office or Tribal Historic Preservation Office.
Which we've historically respected.
We suck as a country. From there, then, how are properties evaluated? So to be considered eligible, a property must meet the National Register criteria for this evaluation. So this is one of those where, like I said, we kind of skim the surface, because then from there you need to go to the National Register criteria for evaluation. So there's another hyperlink for there. Then you got to go through all this different things, such as the property's age, significance, and integrity. So obviously,
Nate clicks so you don't have to. That's the new
one. So age and integrity, obviously, is the property old enough to be considered historic? And it says generally the last 50 years. And does 50, it still look much the way it did in the past?
I'm almost historic. If I was a building, I'd be getting close to historic status.
But do you have the significance? Is there events and activities and developments that are important with you?
Yeah, I think so. Ones I like, ones I don't like. I don't know.
That's good. That's called self-value. Good job, Todd. You're doing it. You're doing life.
The minute I drove this off the lot, it was depreciating immediately. Thanks, Mother.
And then after that, you got the National Register listing process. So nominations can be submitted to your SHPO, the property owners, historic societies, preservation organizations, government agencies, and other individuals or groups. So it's a lot of submitting process, getting paperwork, making sure it meets requirements, a lot of checks and balances that they're going through.
Yeah.
So from there, the SHPO notifies affected property owners and local governments and solicits public comment. If the owner or a majority of owners for a district nomination objects, the property cannot be listed, but may be forwarded to the National Park Service for a determination of eligibility.
Okay, so they're basically surveying the community that would see it a lot and probably would have had the value of what it was, what it served as, so they kind of get that.
Yep.
I mean, that's probably one of the most important steps, is to get buy-in from the community, unless there's a real dick in there, but at least they'd have to be a lot of dicks to like knock it down.
But from there, it just shows it could be one owner. It's not necessarily owned by the state or anything like that at that moment.
That's true. Okay, so I could, okay, I could do that.
So yeah, from there, proposed nominations are reviewed by your state's Historic Preservation Office and the state's National Register Review Board. The length of the state process varies, but typically will take a minimum of 90 days.
That's not long, actually, for what you would think it takes. I feel like it would take years. 90 days is like as quick as the government has run in a long time.
But I mean, that's also a matter of they're also going through the other processes before that 90 days. So getting someone out to also evaluate that property and whatever it is.
They could drag their feet on that, yeah.
Yeah. And then complete nominations with certifying recommendations are submitted by the state to the National Park Service in Washington, D.C. for final review. And listings by the keeper of the National Register of Historic Places.
Who gets to be the keeper? Somebody's name is the keeper?
I don't know. Yeah. Capital letters.
Honey, what do you do? I guess your spouse wouldn't be asking you that, but honey, what do you do for a living? I'm the keeper.
Yeah.
I got promoted to keeper.
That process takes about 45 days. So you got 90 days and then 45 days. So it kind of adds into more.
But we still haven't even reached even close to 12 months. So I'm optimistic about these historic buildings.
All right. So listings in the National Register of Historic Places provides recognition of a property's historic, architectural, archaeological significance based on national standards used by every state. So this is where it's just showing like the benefits and everything that you can gain from having your building being, I guess, a historic building.
Like tax breaks and shit?
Yeah, so you get grants, tax credits, preservation easements to nonprofit organizations.
Like
one of the things
to run and non-org out of your space kind of thing?
I think, yeah, that's what I didn't go
I could have a
too much into detail of that.
Yeah, I'm going to say, can I run a nonprofit out of the Mesa? Mesa's on the side of the cliff. It's a nonprofit tourist organization.
Another part from that is becoming part of the National Register Archives, which is a public searchable database that provides wealth of research information. That was one that I clicked on and I started going through it like crazy because I was like, oh, let's go through, because you can actually look up state, county, up to the city and everything of what everything is.
Oh, you
so there's a hyperlink in that, but if you do want the URL, it's npgallery.nps.gov/NRHP.
So you can look at your local area and see if there's anything in the surrounding space to go check out. Okay, cool.
And then the other thing you can get is celebrating your listing by ordering a bronze plaque that distinguishes your property as listed in the National Register of Historic Places.
I've seen those everywhere. Like even like Colorado State University, like most buildings have that shit on the outside, right? Because they've been around for so long.
It's insane. So like I was saying, that place where you can kind of look up what's historic buildings in your area, there is so many where you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Or, okay, I guess that's that. So there's, of course, you had the Stanley Hotel. You had
another plaque.
Historic Park Theater, which is in Estes Park. It's a historic building.
Which Nate and I need to go visit because it's the oldest theater in the United States, or maybe the world, we found out. I think we might have mentioned this before, but there was something.
Yeah, I think 1909. Because I went down a path on that, looking at it. I was like, oh, let's go down the path of this. And of course, I went and looked what the movie theaters and what it was showing.
Yeah, I've been in there a couple times. I've never seen an actual movie. I'm never like there with like, oh, I need to go see a movie. So it's so simple to go do that. We should do that.
They had some updates in 2024, so.
Did they? What do you mean updates?
Yeah.
You mean just like structural updates?
Yeah, structural.
Well, there's been fires in the area, and it's old as shit. So they've had to do some
And then that's actually another thing that you say fires. That's actually great. So there was a building that was a mill, and I remember like it was being in the process of they were trying to rebuild it and make it into like a small little area for breweries, restaurants, and stuff like that. But then that place had a fire. And then sure enough, that was one of the documents in there where it actually said, oh, there was a fire, so it's no longer recognized as a historic building. That way they could actually work on it properly without, degrading, I guess, the historic value or whatever it was.
So if it starts on fire, it's not historic, but then can you reapply to get it to be historic?
Still historic.
But because of the fire, you can work on it without restriction.
You have to go through and send in to the board or whatever that there was a fire, so therefore it's not salvageable or whatever it may be. There's, like I said, it's very interesting going through that database and seeing all the different forms of everything that is recognized by the, I guess, historic board or whatever, the SFO.
SPO. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I see more than one form for anything. I'm like, is it really worth it? So
yeah, because I went through the Stanley Hotel for that one. And it's crazy how old that one is because it's so hard to even read the actual document because they have the scanned document in there, but then they have an actual like digital text of what the document says.
Oh, they were forward thinking on that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of historic buildings and everything. And I guess if you want to try saving a building, there's a lot of processes, but Todd thinks it's quick.
I mean, it sounds quick comparatively. I'm trying to think if there's any like buildings I know around me that I'm like, that would suck if that just like went away. Obviously, I don't want any building to just disappear unless it's like a fucking like that. They built like that Amazon gigantic warehouse with the biggest parking lot off the highway. Like it's got.
Yeah,
there's a couple giant big like almost storage center like places off the highway in Colorado that are just like, oh my god, that's such an eyesore and it sucks. If that went away, no one cares, right? I don't care about whoever invested in that property. Nope. But like the thing is, like, I'm trying to think, even like the Brownstone or the Brown Palace, which is a pun on a toilet, but is the Brown Palace Hotel in Denver, I assume is probably a historic one if I had to guess. Like these things are. Yeah. Like, and again, like I don't, just because it's made out of brick doesn't mean it's historic, but I usually lean to that. I'm like, if it looks like that shit is old as fuck, right? I'm made of brick. What do you want from me? But yeah, I think some of those like downtown spots are really cool. And it's just, I mean, there's some fun to see like new buildings go up that are like artistic. There's one in Denver that has, it almost looks like a chunk is like broken out the side of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can see into it. That's neat. So there's some cool ones that are out there, but nothing beats that old architecture you see if you're in New York City or like the museum in New York and things like that. Seeing those lions that classic Ghostbusters reference, right? But like the lions out front, like that shit just, there's something about it that, I don't know. It's almost like seeing practical effects. You're like, that's right. This is real. The world is real. History exists. I am human. Oh my God.
I just wonder though, like with those new buildings, how long do those last? Do those ever become historic? Do they try to keep them around, or do they like, we just demolished it and we built something new? Because nowadays it's almost cheaper to demolish a building and then make a new one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why like stadiums like what Wrigley and shit are historics now, I think, right? Like they're not going anywhere unless, whatever. I'm thinking like massive fire. Hopefully that never happens. But like they're not going unless there's a natural disaster. Well, if I make it to my 90s, I'll let you know if that weird building is still there and if it's got historic status. All right. Episode 20,003. I'll let you know.
All right, I'm going to check your math real quick on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what that math is. Don't even. I just said a number. Don't check that shit.
2003. Good God.
You know what? If we did it weekly for the next 50 years, it can't be 20,000. It's got to be way lower than that. I don't know. But you know what doesn't mess up math, Nate? Robots. Right?
Oh, okay.
A calculator of sorts. No, not really. Robots that's my section. This is my side quest. I'm going to pop right into it. It kind of gets confused with like AI and androids and shit like that. Like there's all sorts of versions of like robot, but I'm trying to think of the one you would picture of like metal, you know, when somebody's doing the robot dance, that kind of robot, right? Like it's got like the antenna out the head that's sending a signal. Anyway, definition of robot, you know, we love to start there. Oxford Dictionary, so we're going to the legit people here, none of that wiki trash. It is a machine capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically, especially one programmable by a computer. Easy enough. The origin of the word robot came in 1920 from a Czech named K. Kapek, and it was a term called robota, which stands for forced labor. So that tracks.
Oh shit!
And it was K. Kapek's play called RUR, which stands for Rossum's Universal Robots. And that's just a phrase that he used in robot is forced labor. There you go. It makes sense. It tracks. It is the workforce that cannot say no, right? It's very dark, but it also makes sense, and etc. There's your etymology for the word. That's not even how etymology is used. I'll tell you about the etymology of the word etymology on episode 2000 or 2004. Nate, when you think of robots, what do you think of first? Like, what is the first robot that comes to mind for you?
First robot. I just think danger. Danger
Will Robinson?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I wrote that down. So
it's not even, I don't think I've even seen the movie or anything but I just know that.
Yeah, it's from Lost in Space, and the robot is named B9, and it's part of the Robinson family's, like, it's its helper, their helper, and it always protects Will Robinson. That is its mission, right? As they're exploring all this space. So it's Danger Will Robinson, B9, and it's the Jetsons. Is it, what the fuck? Now I can't think of her name. Yeah, but it's like Betty?
I couldn't tell you.
Google that while I'm talking the next thing. We need to find out what her name is.
All right.
So I started looking around, like I did the basic Google of best robots in movies, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of slop. A lot of these movies I've never seen, and apparently, like I watch a lot of movies from different genres. Apparently, robots and sci-fi is not one that I dive into all the time, even though I was just talking about Blade Runner 2049, so it's a little hypocritical. Oh, Nate, thank you. It is Rosie the robot. Rosie, yes. That's who I always... and I don't know, that's probably because it's from my childhood, right? Like, I grew up watching Jetsons, and my mom... So I always come back to my freaking mom. Mom, turn off the pod, even when I'm talking nice things about you here. But, like, she used to love Lost in Space, the black and white, and so I knew that and everything. But anywho, tons of slop out there, but the notable ones we'll know is, like, iRobot, Short Circuit, which is Johnny Five. Do you ever heard the phrase, like, Johnny Five is alive?
Yep.
That's that classic. Iron Giant. I've never seen the Iron Giant, but that's like sacrilegious to some people.
Look at that. That's directed by Brad Bird, and we just talked about a movie written by Brad Bird.
I think I mentioned him a few episodes ago for something. Yeah, he comes up a lot. This guy. Yeah. What a legend. Ex Machina, which was really good. That's like the most modern version, but it's almost like Android type stuff. That's like what I think of as like the modern idea of a robot. And then obviously WALL-E. And then the two most famous. What are the two most famous robots in all of cinema history? And I say two because they're usually always together.
Oh gosh, putting me on a test here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Two robots that are always together.
Yep. One's taller than the other.
This is a TV show or a movie?
I don't know, Nate. You tell me. It's cinema history. 70s. Came out in the 70s. That should be a big tip.
Should be, but I'm not going to get it.
One of them, most of their names are made up of letters and numbers, not like actual, like, it's not like
oh, god
Brad.
Damn it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, god damn.
Shamed him on the pod by accident.
Those are droids, not robots, all right?
Well, C-3PO is a droid, technically. R2-D2 is definitely a robot, right? Like,
no, he's a droid still.
I mean,
he's still a droid.
I mean, I guess Star Wars has their own terminology, but we consider them in the robot category. Fucking Anakin built them. Come on, it's a robot. But there's also Ultron. We know that one. The Terminator. These are technically, see, everything's like a version of a robot. Obviously, the basis is robot. But anywho, even the Kaiju armor in Pacific Rim apparently is considered a robot because it's built.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You know, yeah. But anyway, I need to explore more of those. Haven't watched like a ton of those things. Like there's like Chappie never saw one called like Automata. I never saw the
Chappie
Wild Robot.
Bad. Wild Robot, that's a good one.
See, you watch more of these robot movies than I do, and you can't name them. I swear to God, you guys. This guy. You guess who's not the founder of robotics? You. That's you. But I tried to find out who the founder of robotics was, Nate. And like when you're using AI, I think these are hallucinations based off of what I'm getting back, because here's some of the search results that came up when I was looking at this. So the first one, Al-Jazari, widely recognized as the quote-unquote father of robotics for establishing the first robotics company, Unimation. Okay. Second result, Joseph F. Engelberger, an American physicist, engineer, and businessman, was responsible for the birth of one of the most important, impactful industries, gaining him global recognition as the father of robotics. Okay. Third one, the first industrial robots were developed by George Devol, American inventor and founder of the first robotics company in history, Unimation, which apparently was created by the first guy, Al-Jazari. And then in 1956, it says George Devol and Joseph Engelberger, who I've already mentioned, founded Unimation, the first robotics company. Then now there's two of them. There were so many answers for the quote-unquote father of robotics. Never a mother, by the way, so rude. But never a father of it. And I couldn't find a straight answer. I still don't know. I did this research. I don't know. But my favorite is...
AI's taken over on that, right? They're already trying to...
But like that was so... The AI one, even the AI overview, that shit at the top, had all three of them listed as separate entries. And you're like, what are you doing? Again, this is why you can't trust anything. So then I looked at the individual Google results, and it still knocked them three out separately. And I'm like, I don't know, man. One of them fucking did it. But it always comes back to this Unimation robotics factory or whatever. But like I said, my favorite is Isaac Asimov, who coined the 3 laws of robotics. The first law is a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. It must always protect. Number 2.
This is what straight up iRobot.
Is this from iRobot?
I believe so. I think there's 3 laws in that as well.
Oh shit, I saw that movie too. That's one of the ones I saw so long ago. I hated that movie. Number 2, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law.
Okay.
And number 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. So, was it Nate? I know Nate got on his phone there. What was that?
Yep, it is pretty much exactly iRobot, so they got it from that.
I wonder if iRobot was the Isaac Asimov story, and they adapted it.
I guess only one way to find out. Watch it again, Todd. You loved it, so...
Yeah. I saw it at a drive-in movie theater so long ago in Denver. But beside that. So anyway, those are the laws of robotics. Great, we've established that. The first robotic, and this, according to Wikipedia, who now is back in my good graces because it gave me some information. According to them, it was one of the first ones. And it doesn't say it was the exact first one because I'm sure that's a little wishy-washy, just like the founders. But the name was Eric, and this happened in 1928. It was one of the first humanoid robots and exhibited at the annual exhibition of the Model Engineer Society in London, where it delivered a speech. It was invented by W.H. Richards. The robot's frame consisted of an aluminum body of armor with 11 electromagnets and 1 motor powered by a 12-volt power source. The robot could move its hands and head and could be controlled through remote control or voice control, which, for 1928... That's pretty impressive. That's pretty good.
It really is.
And so I was like, well, that was the first one potentially. What is the latest one? And this came out just here in 2026, just a couple months ago. The robot is called Atlas and is from Boston Dynamics, and it's human shaped, but not not like a human sex doll shape. You know what I mean? Like it's got like the joints, like it looks like a
You
human.
went there. You went there. Okay.
Well, it's your favorite type of sex doll.
Okay.
So it looks like human, so I just wanted to bring it up and see if you knew what I was talking about.
Gaslight over here.
But Boston Dynamics boasts like high power. It says Atlas is here to start working and stay working with the strength and endurance to complete demanding tasks and self-swappable batteries for continuous operation. Those batteries last for 4 fucking hours. Continuous operation to replace a battery on a robot.
You think there's extra batteries included?
Ooh, asterisk. Well, the thing is, if the robot is self-sustainable, wouldn't you like pack batteries like on its legs and then it could replace its own battery? Like you said, some it holds, there's like phantom power. Like if it had like a minute to just change out the battery on itself.
Well, why not just 2 batteries?
Oh, that's true.
Like
So one holds the power
ports.
while you replace the other one?
Yeah.
See, wait, you're the father of robotics. It's you.
Put me on the list. Let's go. Let's add some more names.
Then it also boasts a human scale. So it says Atlas is made to operate within the same workstations using the same equipment your staff does without robust perception that's better. With robust perception, intelligent safety systems, and workflow integrations. It comes in at a whopping 6'2", 198 pounds. So,
damn,
it would actually do better on
physique.
it would do better on the dating apps than I do. So that's great. They're taking our jobs.
Yeah, but how much does it cost?
I don't fucking know. I didn't look into that. These are like corporation level purchases. Speaking of usefulness, what would you buy a robot for? Like if you were forced at gunpoint, if you had to choose a robot for any specific task, what would it be? It can be a famous robot, or it could be one you're thinking of in your head that does a certain thing, and it can't be the sex doll.
Damn. Oh, shucks. Now what will I ever choose?
That's what I was expecting. Hard choice.
Oh,
No pun
God.
intended.
What would I... Oh, man. A robot... I guess, if I can go just like movie-based,
Yeah.
maybe the Iron Giant. He's pretty cool. But you have no reference to that because you haven't seen it.
Did you choose that on purpose, or is that one that if I hadn't mentioned the Iron Giant earlier, would you have thought to include him in your robot list?
Probably it would have taken a while to figure out some kind of list of like...
But why the Iron Giant? Because he's massive, right? Like he's not very practical to have all day, but like you would use him.
He's not practical, but he's super friendly and very protective,
Okay, so mostly for the protection.
I guess just to have a giant friend, maybe too.
Wow, guys, anybody that's Nate's friend, he the wistfulness of just to have a giant friend too. Wow, all right, this guy's gonna be one of those people that's on the news falling in love with the goddamn AI.
Sorry, a literal giant. Okay, you're gigantic in my eyes, Todd, but you're not a literal giant.
Giant among men, I tell you. Okay, Iron Giant. Okay, so defensive. I thought a little. I mean, I don't know if it's outside the box, but one of those Transformers that are motorcycles.
Okay, that
I think that would be sick because, I mean, normal motorcycles.
Should have chose a Transformer now.
I know, right? Normal motorcycles are going to cost me my head. And it's not like it's going to be cost a lot. Literally, my head's going to fly off because those things are dangerous. I don't trust I-25 or any highway for that matter. But this one also, like, they don't hang out inside. Like, this fucking motorcycle is not coming in to sit on the couch, right? So I don't have to deal with it. Like, it's just doing its own thing. It can fend off danger, and it can take me anywhere pretty damn fast. It can weave me in and around. I feel protected. Like, it could probably do like a little shell around me and just like, the world is my oyster on this fucking thing, right? It probably has jetpacks too. To be fair, it could probably just fly. But
okay, now we obviously went, kind of like that. What would you actually have practical within the house that would probably make sense?
Okay,
I was like, I'd like one that would clean my bathrooms. That's probably
clean your bathroom. Okay. I mean, mine's kind of in the same vein. I don't know if it counts as a robot or more of just like a machine, but it's back to the Jetsons. I always picture when he wakes up and it puts him into the shower and like brushes his teeth, like, and it dresses him and then just shoots him out to the breakfast table. I'm like, that would be amazing. Like, I just sleep through it, getting me ready. I'm like, everything looks good. I'm dressed at what I want, and I'm just shot into the world. Perfect. So I think I would do that.
I don't know.
As my.
I mean, I can get up and get ready in like probably 20 minutes. I feel like that's not much more sleep I'm getting.
Yeah, but it's going to shower me, brush my teeth. I mean, my hair can get wild. You don't have to deal with that. If you've got a mane, it doesn't... It's tough, man.
I don't have the luscious locks.
I struggle out here in this world, I tell you. It's just, this world wasn't built for people like me, you know? God, we have it rough. I'm gonna have my hair should be a historical building.
Yeah, a few more years, now, you'll be there.
Yeah, oh God. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to start coming out in chunks. Karma only exists when it actually affects me, to refer to the last episode. All right, anyway, take a not even like a sharp turn, but like a half turn. I looked up like what would be the creepiest or like worst robot. And this isn't a real robot that got created, but so it might be cheating a little bit. But did you ever see the Black Mirror episode called Metalhead?
I have not.
No, I think everybody should go watch this one. The Black Mirror ones can be really depressing and jarring, which is their purpose. So it's hit or miss. But this one is about a robotic dog. Like it's a 4-legged, really small, almost like Chihuahua Pomeranian sized metal structure. But it was a robot built for like war. So it has weapons. But it becomes autonomous. Something happens and they go rogue. And dude, it's like this thing trying to go after this. Like it's like a woman fending herself off from this thing. It is terrifying because you can't beat this thing. And it's like, here's like the implications of creating something that is supposed to be indestructible for wartime and then it not being under your control anymore. It's very good. So it's called Metalhead. But I think that's probably the creepiest, weirdest one I remember in recent times seeing of just like an uncontrollable thing. But
yeah, no, I feel like anything like robots in general, just being sentient and killing is terrifying.
Yeah. Well, we've seen videos where I think we even talked about a previous one where the robot does not, or the AI, right, does not care if you're in peril. Like it's breaking rules 1, 2, and 3, I think, where it's just like, haha, you're joking. And it's like, no, I'm serious. I'm in danger. And it's like, haha, okay, sure. And you're like, God damn it. Like this thing. Or no, I mentioned where that one turned like it turned on the person about to shut it off in like the data center, right? It said, I'd rather kill the human if it's going to turn my ass off. Yep. So anyway, not to beat that again. It's all bad news. But this leads me to my next point, and I think one of my last points here, guys. I'm making it quick this time, hopefully. It's you ever heard of the Turing test?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't. And I don't remember off the top of my head. It's basically the imitation game, is what Alan Turing created and became a movie. And this dips into AI territory again, but it's a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to that of a human. And in the Turing test, a human evaluator judges a text transcript of a natural language conversation between a human and a machine. The evaluator tries to identify the machine, and if the machine passes, if the evaluator cannot reliably tell them apart. So you're trying to see who in this interaction is real and who's fake. The results would not depend. Not the Turing test I heard of. It's actually the Turing machine, which is a board game, but it's all based off of that.
Yeah, I would hope so. They just like Turing. That sounds like a good word. Let's run with it. They're like, no. This is the real thing. Yeah, no, that makes sense that people would make games and stuff out of it. I wanted to try and get a Turing test, but I can't do that between two people, right? It doesn't make any sense. It has to be almost like a blind test. I would need to have you talk to a machine and see if I could tell which one was you and them. But even then, I know like your cadences and shit. So and you'd spell something horrendously wrong. I'm like, well, that's fucking Nate. But to finish my thought on there, it says the results would not depend on the machine's ability to answer questions correctly, only on how closely its answers resembled those of a human. So it didn't even have to necessarily get something right, because the human could get it wrong too, right? And we've seen this applied to bots, which are just robots of the computer world, right? So it's like it's a simile of the two. And this is the CAPTCHAs, CAPTCHAs where it's like the boxes pop up on the screen and it's like, choose the one with a stop sign or motorcycles. That is the Am I a Robot test, essentially. And it's a form of Turing test in which computing is used to determine whether the human or the user is human in order to deter bot attacks and spam. These things,
tests.
you hate them?
Yeah. Well, the worst is always like, no, it's just more of, oh, which ones have motorcycles in it, and then there's like weird, or it's like, which ones have bikes in it? It's just like, okay, this one.
But there's like a corner of one that's just like slightly in the other box. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just always annoying.
I've failed many an am I a robot test. I'm like, God damn it. Which is why, not for better, but Google came out with reCAPTCHA, which is their version of it. And so it does do the same kind of thing where it's like, choose the images, all that. But what really happens, I don't know if you know this, I learned this a while ago. It's not really what you're doing when you're clicking the photos. It's, Sin knows about the Turing test and the reCAPTCHAs. Yes. If I had to choose a picture on my screen and how many things have Sin on it, it would be like one ear corner, like peeking up every now and then, right?
Yeah.
No, but so what they do at Google for the CAPTCHA is not when you're actually clicking on the images, it's actually using what you've done even before you got to that to determine whether you're a human. Like if you were on another site that they know about and you were scrolling around, if you were clicking and looking and taking your time and you weren't just doing automatic, actions like go to button, whatever, sending in queries, it goes, oh, you're a human. So it's actually using what you've already been doing to tell itself that you are a human and not a robot, which means it's data mining off of what you're,
Yep.
And it's like, and that's, you could come to a CAPTCHA after hours of Google and then be like, oh shit, so when did the session start of it knowing, like how many times was I logged in and Google knew like, oh, well, he was on Reddit, so he's probably a human. But I've done it to where when I used to work for a marketing firm and I had to check pages on a website to make sure things were updated. And I started opening up pages and going through them so quick that it eventually, I got the lockout error and it flagged me as potentially a robot because I was doing so many of the same things over and over again without missing beats, I guess. And it was like, oh, nope, you got flagged. And we had to like undo whatever thing to prove like, hey, this dude's a human. Like, so I had to start telling myself to open pages slower and not quite do it as quickly because it wouldn't think I was a crawling bot. Jesus, I can't even speak. A crawling bot that it was like trying to like, data mine for information. So anyway, that's the modern bots that we interact with.
Do you have like existential crisis of like, oh shit, am I a robot?
No, because I feel like, if I was a robot, would I really need to vacate my bowels and would I need to eat food? I don't bleed my own blood. Yeah, I bleed. That's true. Well, the thing is, like, how realistic can they make you, right? Can they? Yeah. If you're talking replicants in the Blade Runner world, you wouldn't know if you're.
Spoiler alert.
Well, that's Blade Runner 1, baby. This is the whole premise. I think it starts with this crawl that talks about replicants. If I remember correctly. This is a Blade Runner heavy episode, but yeah, you guys go watch that. Right? Anyway, that really brings me to the end of my robot info dump. Spiel, dump, ramble, rants.
Glad we figured out who invented robots.
Yeah, it was Engelbert Humperdinck or I don't know, whoever the hell else was.
I'm going to go with Humperdinck just because Humperdinck is a great name.
Well, isn't Humperdinck from Arcane?
Yeah, I think it is.
Or is it something, or is it close to Humdinger or Hummer? It's not Humperdinck. Yeah, guys, you don't need to hear us try and figure out this guy's name. I thought maybe there was a connection there. I don't think there is. Yeah, but that's the topics for this week. Nate, not to jump harshly into what's happening next week, but it's your movie pick. What are we doing next week?
Next week, getting a slice of our life here in a few years, but we are going to be talking about Grumpy Old Men.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that movie. It's we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. I always think about that fucking song, and I cannot hear them or see them independently anymore. So
it's good. A movie has done their job when, you can only think of a song with the movie, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I do that a lot. And that's one of my earliest memories of connecting a song to a movie. And it's the literal opening of the movie. So, but again, that great movie. Yeah, we'll discuss that next week.
All right, now I guess we can move on to your famous segment of ins and outs.
You don't have to call it famous as if like you're mocking me over here. I'm not a robot.
It's famous now. People ask and they crave it.
It's what plants need. Todd's
Sin's right now sitting here meowing, ready for her ins and outs.
Isn't her mother home? Where is her mother? Cat, go to cat. Okay, well, all right, let's see. Ins and outs. This one you're probably aware of. It's called The Dodo. It's a social media channel, and it's like feel-good shit, right? Like, so much of our TikTok feed and For You page, all that shit is just, again, it's a doom scrolling, right? But at least The Dodo is, I don't know, a few years it could come out that The Dodo was run by, like, Kevin O'Leary, and he's a piece of shit, and it's just a bad organization, whatever. But right now, it's, like, great, like, human stories and even better animal, like, rescue and, like, just feel-good shit. Like, they're so good. The Dodo will make you tear up quite a bit. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like the best of humanity kind of being represented in some of these things. And hopefully I haven't been scammed by any AI shit yet on there, but from what I can tell, they're legit stories, and I don't know. So if you want to add a little niceness to your doom scrolling, chuck them on there. And it's, all right, it's just the way it is, the DODO. What is out? Vaping. Vapes. Zens, whatever the fuck you want to call them, dude. What are we doing here? Nate, do you remember the excuse that used to be thrown up for why people like smoke? Because it looks cool, man. But even if we do believe that, vaping does not, without a question, look cool. Like, has you ever been like, oh wow, check out that dude putting that weird USB stick up to their fucking mouth and blowing out like strawberry scented smoke? Like, no one thinks that's cool. And and I think at some point it's like worse than regular smoking. I don't get it.
So the whole time where you're like, it doesn't look cool or anything. There was a video I saw of a guy that he was vaping and he was doing a bunch of like smoke ring kind of like cool tricks with it. And I was like, it looks kind of cool. I'm not going to start smoking, but it's very interesting of like him going through the process of blowing a smoke ring and then a smoke ring through the smoke ring and then it kind of like waving through. I was like, yeah, it looks cool, but I'm not going to ever do it.
No one. Oh my God, no, we need to gamify vaping. Like no one.
I don't think you realize there actually is like like underground movement, whatever it is, where they're like, all right, we're going to blow this O, and then they like push it through the air and they like, it's judged. It's a thing.
You don't need, but the thing is, you don't need to vape to get like safe smoke or whatever to blow out. Like you can fake that shit. The theaters have been doing it forever. Like arts have been doing it. You don't need to vape and have like, it doesn't make any sense. They look stupid and they're not good for you. They're like more addictive and they get like children are using vapes. Like everybody's just, and they use them indoors and it's just like, it's the thing you do. No one needs them. That's my out, guys. I know. What a grumpy old man indeed, but my God, it's like smoking's so dumb. Do you need to make it even dumber? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's definitely ridiculous. The marketing behind all of it.
Guys, this is why it's Todd's ins and outs. Nate doesn't have to co-sign everything. He can just hear me rant and just... I'm waiting for him. One day he's going to have an out, and I'm going to be like, no way, I love that. He's going to be, you know what's
in? Just an out? I don't need an in?
No, your in is sex dolls. I know it is. Like, it's fine.
So Todd's ready for me to say the in is sex doll. So he's like, yes, finally, it's accepted. I can come out. People can know of my collection.
I opened the door behind me. I'm like, check out these, man. We've never talked about them. This is Brenda.
This one's Sasha. I call her Sasha, right?
No. Sasha? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe Sasha was a code for something.
No.
Anywho, Nate. Well, I don't recommend vaping, but Nate, what do you recommend for the listeners this week?
What do I recommend? This week, I am going to recommend Sagrada.
Oh, I played that too. It's a board game,
yeah.
Nate?
Yes, it is. It is a board game.
Okay.
So it's a dice drafting game where you're kind of creating like these stained glass windows. And it's a game by Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adam Mesquite. And it's a simple game. At first, it's like all board games, right? It sounds complicated until you actually just do a couple rounds. And the idea and premise of you creating these stained glasses is you're drafting dice from a pool of dice that you roll from a bag. And you want to make sure no colors are touching the same colors and no numerical values are touching the same numerical values on your grid.
Now, you just said it's one of those where you play it a little bit and you're like, oh, this is simple. I remember playing this game, and I don't think I ever got the hang of it. Didn't we play like the entire thing wrong the first time?
No, I don't think we did.
No, I thought we did. We got done and we were like, well, that wasn't correct. Or was it Azul we played wrong the whole time?
Azul. Azul was the one. But that's the one you also won at, and you're like, I love this game now.
We never played it again, so I must not have loved it that much. But I remember we scored it wrong, but I mean, we all scored it the same, so at least...
Yeah, we all scored it the same, but never... So it's like we played it kind of wrong, but not completely wrong, because we were all in the same boat.
So this is not... Okay, so I don't know if I've played Sagrada then.
You have played Sagrada. We played it at a brewery in Fort Collins.
Yeah, at Crooked Stave, right?
Yep.
I thought that was where we played Azul.
No, Azul we played at my house.
Guys, at least I knew we played... I knew that detail. We played a board game at Crooked Stave, which is not there anymore, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Todd,
Sagrada.
what would you recommend for them to maybe forget?
These are things you can listen to, all right? My recommendation is 3 songs from 3 female-led bands. And they're just like, they're great earworms. I listen the hell out of them. First one is Maggie Antone. She sings The Devil's Not in Hell. It's a fucking, like I said, it's an earworm. It's so good. I found her through TikTok, but I think she's getting more and more steam. I think she's getting big, hopefully. The second one is Carsey Blanton. She sings Ugly Nasty Commie Bitch. And that is another earworm. And that is so great. But they both, like, her and Maggie both kind of have like a southern draw kind of tang, like in that genre. So both very good. The second one is a much shorter song. And the third one is from The Beaches, and they sing Blame Brett. And they're getting huge. And Blame Brett is like basically a story of, well, everything I'm doing wrong, you can blame my ex. Like, it's like, blame my ex, blame my ex, blame my ex, or whatever. Like, it's just like, hey, here's why I'm acting out, because this person fucking did whatever, ruined me. And with any luck, the lead singer will be my future wife.
How many future wives you got here? Because I think this is a recurring new segment.
I don't know what
Todd's
you're talking
future
about.
wife.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is news to me. I'm pretty sure I've only written this down here. I don't think I've ever written this down anywhere else.
Careful. You get a future wife, your sex robot is going to change on you and probably kill you.
Don't you even try to change the narrative as he puts one back in a trunk behind him, all right? Don't even try. You hear those latches clasping?
So, during the first time we recorded, it was Nate's sex dungeon down in his basement that he tied people up and locked them away. And now it's Nate's sex robots.
Well, the humans, I think you said, were just too hard to control, so... With all 3 laws of robotics, you're safe over there for now.
Yeah, those laws were going to be broken.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, that's it, guys. On that note, that is it for this week.
Yeah, fuck. I got no sign out.
No, there's no... I mean, Nate, you've got to tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, I do have to do that, yeah. All right, we're just going to go off the head here. So you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can also email us, I think, is theendasci@gmail.com. That's something else that we have.
What are you, dusting off a tome over there? What is this from? Jesus. This is OG podcast.
And rate and review us. Send us a nice review or, a hate review. Just 5 stars. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take that. 5-star hate review. You have to make it known that you hate us, but it's also 5 stars. Yeah,
tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, and tell those you hate.
That's it. That's the motto. Now you need to sign us off.
Beep boop bop boop boop. That's a robot sign off, I guess.
Oh my god!
Just because it makes Todd cringe.
Is that how you? Is that your dirty talk? When you got the robot out?
No, it's
hey
boop,
baby,
boop, beep, boop.
Hey baby, ooh, beep boop boop, bop, 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 baby. Yeah. Guys, like it is every week, it's fucking Candyland. Go, be nice to the robots because they'll be playing Candyland for us in the future. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.